Okay, this should be the last entry that you have in your notebook from yesterday. So remember we were talking about convection currents, how convection currents are caused by unequal heating, the differences in temperature. When something is heated, it becomes less dense and rises, and when it cools, it becomes more dense and sinks. So make sure you have this in your notebook before you go on. So this is showing you the different ocean currents that are found in the waters. The oceans of the earth transfer heat from one location to another by these massive ocean currents. These currents bring warm waters from the equator. So you can see that these that are red, you can see that they are originating around the equator. Okay. This one is coming from this area and continues to be warm. And the cooler currents are coming from the poles. So here from the South Pole, here up here from the North Pole. You will need to click on this link and watch this video. This video will help you with this activity, so please make sure you do that before you go on. So stop, get earbuds, and go ahead and watch that video. After you watch the video, now you're going to identify the current. So you want to make sure that you get one of these maps. Looks just like this. And on that map, you are... Wait just a second. Just trying to get rid of that. You are going to color in the warm currents red and the cold currents blue. You want to make sure you see where they're originating from. You can go back to the previous slide if you need assistance, or you can also go back to the video if you need assistance on what color to color those currents. Once you are done with that, then you're going to put it into your science notebook. Underneath where you have put in your current map, you're going to answer these 4 questions based on the video, based on the map that you just colored in. Make sure that these are in your science notebook underneath your map that you just colored. This is kind of hard to see because it's blurry, but this is showing you the United States. This is showing you a warm current, Gulf Stream, and here's the California current, which is a cold current. So that last question is talking about if you have areas that are at the same latitude. You have areas at the same latitude. If they are a coastal area, they may be affected. The temperature of the area may be affected by the ocean current. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow. That brings us to hurricanes. This red line that I have drawn in here is representing the equator. So hopefully you know by now that the equator is going to get the most direct rays. And so that most direct light is where the heat is going to come from in the waters and in the atmosphere in that area. When hurricanes form, those hurricanes are going to form along the equator. You may be thinking, why? Well, because it is what a hurricane needs in order to form. I call this the fuel. It needs 2 things. It needs warm, moist air. That moisture in the air, that condensation, that water vapor, it is going to be warmer near the equator. It also needs warm water. Where are you going to find the warmest water at? By the equator. If you think of when hurricane season is, it is from June until about end of October, beginning of November. Those are going to be the warmest times. Write this down in your notebook, the 2 fuels that a hurricane must need. Now you're going to log on to the Edpuzzle And on the Edpuzzle, you are going to do the National Geographic hurricane.